I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to C3 Review. Today is May 13th, Tuesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So try to make videos quick. Today, basically birdie day. What we talked about yesterday is an option if it's going to push up and get to that gap or not. Sure enough, they ended up doing that, and some. Obviously, they're just squeezing out sellers. You just really don't know what they're really going to do at the end of the day. Obviously, this train is just just wiping people out, boy. And then so that was the logic, but the way they did it today with the CPI day, especially, I think I forgot to even mention that yesterday, but it's unpredictable, but at the same time, you see these wicks here as we started before 9:30, not helpful. Obviously they're going to look for one data high, and then the bullish sense of coming up here. If you understood to then, obviously what's up here, we have a imbalance in right there on the daily right there on the 27th February. And then you can see the high right there. That's just liquidity. They're just coming up to rate it. They did not rate it, which is the most hilarious part. And then look how they did you. So, so funny. Look at this. Boom. 350. Bam. Right to it, baby. So that's the first imbalance of the PM session. So, general speaking, the price 930 is coming down to the opening range gap 50%. It's coupled with this 50% wick. And the logic is that that's algorithmic. So right here's some more proof of logic that it's not buyers and sellers. So if the 930 was to open here and drop down to 50% here, and CPI is here, that means this was already predetermined, this wick. They created the wick. And then if 930 comes here and comes right to the wick, that means the 930 has to be predetermined as well, where it was. I mean, that should be some high level shit, I'm assuming. But logical. Anyways, sweeping that guy right there. And then it's gone. In birdie days, you're going to see a breakout imbalance here. Doesn't get touched except for the top of it, with this 934, boom. And then every imbalance is, whichever it goes into is going to be key. And as you can see, I don't even have to mention anything. Just screenshot my charts if you want. I got to start making videos shorter, but as you see, the imbalance on the bearish daily imbalance in pink, you can see the 50% is right there. 25, right? And then I quoted, obviously, this great gap. We come to it, we tag that imbalance right there, and then it's at the 25%. Look at the 50 right here of the great gap. Literally opens this 1014 just opens on the on that level perfectly. Trying to be incognito, pushes up to the 50% bearish daily imbalance right there. I just got it to the side, all right? So then you can see it here, dipping into this imbalance, and then so bullish that it won't even touch the 50. Takes off here, another imbalance here, breakout level, and we're on our way up to get back to seal this imbalance. And it was already sealed, but it still is an imbalance, and they're referencing that. But obviously the objective is to get as high as to that high to squeeze it out. But anyways, as you see, push it up right there to that's the top of the bearish daily imbalance right there. And then retraces back, breakout level, just takes this guy out right here. But still bullish, but sitting at the 25% over here. Not pretty, but the gist is legs up and missing it still. Look at this. So then we have this first imbalance right here. Obviously this 131, and you can see how we are playing around that, and then we just literally used it to sell off last second at 350 with time involved, and coming down to just get these equal lows here, inducing liquidity and hitting that 25% here, and that's just pretty much it. There's nothing really else to say. So what was I gonna say here? Obviously Asia retracing back in once we close, retracing back in, and you break out guys right here pretty much. You see this high right here and this high right here. Yeah, so, maybe off by a couple ticks, whatever it is. But and then you can see majority of price sitting and staying on that first imbalance from 930 yesterday, and then we ended up using it here, bouncing it right there. You see that? Maybe hard to see this, I don't know, but you can see that. Do the research, you'll know. And then that's it. Other than that, now we've got this high here and this liquidity. It's like, what are you really gonna do here? Can they just completely steamroll all the way through? Sure. I mean, this weekly candle, I'm surprised it's this big already. It's Tuesday, so even if it decides to flip, the high of the week could be Tuesday, which is today, and not hitting it. I don't see them not hitting it, but maybe Wednesday, if it decides to reverse. If not, then we're just higher highs, higher lows, simple structure, but it's very difficult structure because they're not allowing you, better pullbacks and better prices, right? But there's a ton of inefficiency in this area, as you see, just like when we made this high and we busted through it. Simple breakout level. If you look at this bearish daily imbalance right here, that 50 is just for some reason, I feel like it's just screaming to come back whenever it does. But and we can still be bullish. It doesn't matter. Looking at the historical data, we obviously haven't been using. It's not even really matching, but today's the 13th, and yeah, I mean, we've already been pushing up already, so I think it's gonna be extremely bullish, because if in this case, like if we look at this, when we had pullbacks here, we took time to do that in the year. This is not time. This is literally like already back, right? But the thing is that you got a speaker here, right? Nice manipulation. COVID was also kind of a speaker. So funny how small COVID was. And anyways, see that right there? It's kind of like we're doing that here, and then obviously it can go all the way up. We came to a mean reversion, and that's why I was talking about yesterday about that resistance level. When we broke that low, well, we stopped and we played around, and then we just shot through. So that's just a real sneaky way to just keep going, right? So do I see us coming back to this level? Probably, because people are making decisions from below that low and then above. So I'll get into the projection in a second, but just talking logic, and a very interesting time in trading, to be honest with you. But keep it simple. We came up, we made a nice high here. So I would assume some retracement. Obviously, they're doing it, difficult at the end of the fucking day. So that's the scam continues, right? But it's all good, because the thing is that we wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't rigged, if it wasn't manipulated, right? So, but anyways, what was I gonna say? So I need to run through. So dollar pushing down, but everything's kind of pretty much going up. So it could have been that was a swing low and a bottom, but the structure is going to be interesting coming up in this next year or two. But so early, it's so early for us to already be back here and then not coming back down. But yeah, this is not really that important. There was a divergence here with S&P right here. See this higher low? I didn't draw it, but it's a lower low, and then that's a lower low. See that? Anyways, let's see. And then Dow, squeezing more of Trump's drop shit, right? Pretty much that's why, obviously, Nas looks way more bullish than everybody, right? But it is, hey, let me tell you, man, it's going to be interesting, because in a perfect world, if we were like, not out the woods and, we're coming back down to wipe out some of the buyers. I mean, again, it could buy again if it came down here, but I don't see it. But right this moment, but at the same time, it can. So let me not ramble. But you can see that that was their objective. They're still underneath these lower highs though, so it could be a divergence happening right now as we're speaking. And god damn, look at that. That shit is. Why does anybody want to trade that? S&P cleared, obviously, these highs, and again, just squeezing up and then getting into their resistance areas here, right? So as you can see, that's why that's still not out the cards. But being this high, I mean, it's bullish. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just not really anything else you should say. I mean, it's a perfectly uh, big retracement and push back up. I mean, love to see this, to be honest with you, but just some of the way they're, when you get these birdie days, the way you can manage it, if that's what you're maybe wondering or whatever, is to understand the momentum, understand breakaway imbalances. You know, when they lock and they close, it's it. You know what I mean? So, and you know, you could take, you know, from range from algorithmic level to there or into there, right? This was a main target right here for the bearish imbalance. Obviously, we know that we're constantly still growing up into it, and you know, you pick your poison here, right? Whichever, you know, from here all the way to the top of this, you know, and then knowing that you're at that 25% of over here, you know, these higher lows right here, and you're trying to get, obviously it's closest to this high. That's just, you know, see that and see how they didn't take it out. That's why you should take it out. PM session kicks in or whatever, but yeah, so you're very clear, everything you can see there. I don't even need to explain anything more, right? And then what's also very helpful with this area of buying is that it is the previous day's high. So the way they did it is that, you know, they're bouncing on top of it, using it, and that's another signature, by the way, of possible very bullish day, range expansion day, which they're more rare, but they're, as you see, they're rushing, and then it's like we're already up here. It's crazy how fast we are already up here. And then I was mentioning that the daily would, you know, get to an overbought right here, and we're starting to do that now. And then interesting enough, the weekly is, we'll see if it decides to be a little weaker on this side, and then it rolls back down before it can maybe go back up. So if you ask me, in a perfect world, you know, so perfect world, I will, what did I just do? What the hell? Excuse me. Okay, don't know how I did that. All right, right here. So I would assume, you know, what the, why I keep doing that? You know, something in this nature, if we're gonna go up, right? And then and in this case, you know, like, fine, you want to be a strong bullish weak candle. I mean, it's already large. The range of it is already a lot. This is if you're bullish, possibly even here. All right, and I won't go to the extreme of saying that we come here, which that would be crazy if we did, but that would be the best case bullish scenario, I would say, right? And then if we're selling, and this is that lower high of the, you know, of the year, I mean, it would have to completely just come, you know, you'd have to see something like that, you know what I mean? And then all these bullish daily imbalances that are, I need to draw right now, this one, and because we've now closed like that. Let me put it. Well, did I just put 59 on the hours? Okay, 24 hours. Yeah. And then that's good. So let me tighten this up real quick so you can see. I'm just gonna put it here so it looks like kind of clean. Kind of cleaner. Ugh. I think that makes sense. I'm just gonna do that for now because it's on the side here. And then wait, yeah. So did I stop? Yeah. So bearish. I already talked about bearish. Yeah. So again, we would have to come underneath these. Right now we have this entire area that this candle is bullish. Do we get another breakaway imbalance kind of candle, daily candle, or not? But I don't see that. I see us coming back to this, regardless of if we're bullish or bearish, or maybe in this little imbalance right here, and that might just be enough, okay? But okay, or just this. But if it's bearish, I'd like to see it come down, and then you'd have to see it come underneath this 50% here type of thing, and then it'd have to be something like that. So don't get me wrong, this is very possible, but I mean, right now you don't need to. Everybody's buying and it's buying, and but this is also a moment where hey, just wait for dump and pumps. Drops down, wipes out liquidity a little bit, like in this case. Doesn't have to be major. They already had the structure here, fanning, and then and pushing up. So I think that's all I need to say, right? Was this a short video? At least 15 minutes is good. Did I talk about NVIDIA? No. So again, rushing for all that shit, and then hey, here's the scam, dude. I mean, it's very simple. You see a speaker right there, dude. Right? See that? That's mean reversion. If we're blowing through it, then we're gonna come above. Here's the last thing I'll probably say: we're gonna come above, and fucking let it come above. Um, and it can keep going up from there, or it can come back to the middle. Okay. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So, very interesting, and it's May, and they're because it can easily be a lower high for all this stuff. Everything might have not. It might have. It's kind of like this situation here, where this speaker's out here, right? Makes a speaker, drops here, comes all the way back up, like this came all the way back up, and then it sells off for another leg lower. In this case, it could roll over here and then come back into come back into come back down. I'm just talking, I'm just talking. Come back down into here, however more wherever they want to go. Could be this area right here, right? This guy right here as a support from bouncing up from there, or who knows, wants to do some shit like that. You never know. We never know. It could be the whole year where they think we're struggling and we're back down here, and then it's back up, and then at the end of the next year it's like, oh, it's already up. But they did that kind of structure. So either going straight up, or we're gonna kind of get a pullback and push up, and it's not really anything else. I really, doesn't matter, to be honest with you. You could take day by day, but definitely a vacation is coming soon, and yeah. So am I missing anything? No. Very interesting. That's why I said super resistance yesterday in the title of yesterday's video. Doesn't mean it was going to stop here on a dime, but it could have. It could have. I've seen it plenty of times. Or even it comes up, squeezing up more, because when this is up here, this high, and then it retraces back, it's like, okay, we're still buying, and then it starts to keep going lower. It's like, oh shit, it broke again right here, right? And this is why they're flooding these cells. So now they can offload the buys back up here, taking out all these sellers, and then and then while everybody is buying, it would make perfect sense to roll over and get some of this especially unfair delivery here. I mean, it's literally no price action, and they just fucking blew right above this high. So yeah, somebody's got to slap them up a little bit and be like, hey, that's completely not fair. But and then yeah, so what bullish week? If it's a bullish week, it could come back down and come back up, and instead close up strong here and then sell off next week. Very possible. If not, it shouldn't make another high. And if it was going to turn into a bearish week, or a week where it completely comes right back to its open, and it just be a stupid ass wick possibly, then you might see that this is a very interesting place. So we'll take it day by day. I'm not missing anything, and I think I'm talking too much. So I did the drawings in it. And you guys take care. God bless.